Football. Week 11, Steelers Browns starts it out. So the Browns get a big win. They get Kareem Hunt back on the active roster, which
Correct.
honestly I'd forgotten about. I'm not gonna lie. And
Honestly, I did too.
yeah,
I still thought he was a Chief for some reason.
so
Totally forgot.
Steelers are playing way better than anybody expected after Roethlisberger went down, and now you've got Mason Rudolph hanging in there and getting the job done, barely against the Rams, but
Yeah.
getting the job done.
Well, you can't expect him to light it up against a Rams defense, but he played enough to win.
Steelers are starting to be like playing above what your expectations, and Rams are starting to play below the expectations.
Absolutely.
Browns have definitely been playing below the expectations, but I do expect them to take away the Steelers' juju this week.
Wow.
I like the Browns at home. I think I think they have the weapons. I think that Mayfield is probably more reliable than Rudolph. Coming off a win, I'm taking the Browns.
All right. Well, I think Cleveland was overhyped at the beginning of the season. I think they are exactly who they should be this season. I think they can improve. They've got a lot of star power, but a lot of me. Hope it looks like they may have gotten past that this week. They beat a decent Bills team. It's not a great Bills team. Bills couldn't get the run going though, which is their main way of playing this offense. I think Pittsburgh keeps the Cleveland D honest here. I think Rudolph can do enough, and Connor supposedly completely healthy coming into this week. I think that changes a lot. I'm taking Pittsburgh here just because I think they're improving each week. Cleveland's kind of.
Pittsburgh, like you make a point, Pittsburgh's more of a team this year, and maybe they're even a little more cohesive around the young kid than they are about Ben, who can be a bit of a prickly personality.
Yeah. And it's funny because they were riding the offense for the last few years, where they've always been a defensive team. It seems to have swung back to more of a steel curtain than offense.
T.J. Watt and Hayward. Yeah, I'm with
Fitzpatrick.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my goodness. You're regretting that one. What did you get back for him?
We got a first, but this is a guy that can do it all, and we have a first on a guy that may not or may be good.
As soon as he left you, he went to all pro level.
Well, he went to his natural position. We weren't playing his natural position, and I guess that's not going to be our defense. It's going to be you got to play several spots. You're not cemented in a safety or a cornerback position, and that's what it is.
Falcons, Panthers. Falcons come off a big win.
That was tremendous.
Panthers come off with McCaffrey getting stopped just short. And what's the guy's name? Van Rotten. I love that name. It sounds like something from the Wacky Racers.
Curses foiled again.
Mugsley and Van Rotten are in first. But, the upset win for the Falcons was really the defensive line getting after Breeze. Do I think they can do that again against the Panthers? No, I don't. I think I like seeing the Panthers play Green Bay tough. I like seeing Greg Olsen get back in there and have a big game and be part of the offense.
Yeah, he had a great game the other day.
Yeah, and I think McCaffrey's dangerous every time he touches the ball, so I'm taking the Panthers.
Yeah, I think Atlanta's win was an anomaly. I don't think this is anything that's going to continue, at least not at that level. This was, I don't know, some sort of revenge game for them or something, because they lit it up on every side of the ball. The Saints were never in that game. Word has it Cam wants out.
Yeah, well, wouldn't you at this point?
Yeah, and I don't blame him, but he's an injury a year kind of guy, and I certainly, rumors where he could go. Pittsburgh, Miami. I wouldn't want him in Miami. If I'm going to start at the bottom of the rung here, let's get someone new. But I agree. I think the Panthers have enough here. I don't think this is going to be close. I think Atlanta kind of blew their load. Sorry, I didn't want to finish the sentence, but there was nothing else that fit. I like the Panthers.
If you look at every game we're talking about, there's at least one starting quarterback just gone for the season, or at least gone for the game. So you got Ben out, you got Cam out, and then we're going to go Cowboys-Lions, and you got Stafford out and Driscoll in.
What is Stafford, a 12:59 they discovered this injury?
Yeah, you would think you're back, you might be aware that there was a problem.
That was crazy.
But yeah, and Driscoll, is he going to instill any confidence in the team? Is he going to instill any confidence against a good Cowboys team? No, he's not. I expect the Cowboys to overpower the Lions front seven on offense. I expect Driscoll to make a couple of mistakes, and I expect the Cowboys to win pretty easily.
Yeah, I think Zeke Elliott's going to have a big day. The Dallas receivers, they played very well in that game against your team.
Oh, yeah.
You guys just played one better.
Cooper's spectacular.
Yeah, he is. I still didn't agree with that catch they called. I thought he was out of bounds, but nonetheless, they got the touchdown. I think this is pretty easy. I don't think the Lions are going anywhere. The offense runs on Matt Stafford. He is not in. I'm taking the Cowboys.
All right. We got Jags Colts. Why don't you lead us off on this one?
All right. Well, the Colts lost to a resurgent Miami team, and granted, they were going with Brian Hoyer, but he's not a guy that's not been around. I mean, he's been around as long as Fitzpatrick. He just looked out of sorts. We had 3 picks against him. I also think that the Colts go as Brissett goes. We kind of stopped the run. We kept them to just over 100 yards, which is plenty enough in any other game to win here. I think if Brissett plays, it's the Colts, but I think the Jaguars can beat this team. They had the week off. They're coming in healthy. The Colts don't look good without Brissett.
Obviously, it's going to help the Colts a lot if Brissett plays, but I actually am going to take the Colts at home, even if they're Hoyer-led. I think they have just the ability to run the ball, make safe plays. As you said, Hoyer is an experienced starting quarterback in the NFL. Is he top level? No, but does he have to be top level to beat the Jags? I don't think so.
That maybe with another week practice. I mean, it was kind of
stout defense, run the ball, play conservative, play at home. It's going to be a low-scoring game.
Yeah, the Colts can stop the run. I mean, we found that out pretty easily.
So I'm going Colts.
All right.
Bills, Dolphins, Stewart, talk to us.
The Finns D is playing very well right now, and literally, I can't name half the guys when I watch the game. Nick Needham had a huge day. Parker with that odd interception where he brought the ball in as they were falling in the end zone for the pick against the Colts. It was a huge play. Colts were driving going in, and Parker, who I really didn't know until he picked the ball off, did a nice job. But I think the Bills should win this one. They're built big. They're built for the road. They're grinding on the running game, and the Dolphins are getting better. But you can't match up who we are today with who we expect to be in the future in this particular game. Bills kind of have our number typically, even though it's in Miami, unless it's 105 degrees. I hate to go against my team, but I'm not going to. I'm taking the Finns for a third in a row.
The Dolphins are kind of ruining their season by winning.
We're not. Everyone says that.
Well, I mean, the theory was they were tanking, and they really did ship off all of their talent.
That was the media saying we were tanking.
Fitzpatrick. I don't know. I don't think they told the coach. I don't think they told the players.
They didn't tell the coach.
I think the GM was like, 2019, I don't care about.
You still have 3 number 1 draft picks. You're going to get, you can move around. If you really want a guy that's up there, you might have to pay a bit. But we've got the capital to do it. Plus, we have $130 million in cap space. We'll be big players in the free agency.
You have a ton of second and third rounders, too, if I remember right.
Two.
And there are some QBs in college develop. Like Burrow is suddenly, all the talk.
LSU. Yeah, it's this season. Granted, he was in Ohio State backing up
Fields. Not Fields.
No.
Haskins.
Yeah. No.
Dwayne Haskins.
Well, it was Haskins. You're right.
Mm-hmm.
And he transferred to LSU. It's a great team. He looked sharp as hell the other day, but I don't think you can base.
I'm just saying. They're talking about 4 top.
There's
QBs
Hebert. There's
out.
Fromm. There's
Fromm is not getting the love.
No, he's not. And there's Love, Brandon Love.
There's Tua.
Yeah, I mean, he played great.
Anyway,
that was one of the greatest games I've ever seen.
You will get a good quarterback, and you will be a little higher than you should be because the Bills will beat the Dolphins this week. Okay. Game of the week: Texans Ravens.
That's what I say. Best matchup of the weekend.
Love the QB matchup when they were in college. Deshaun Watson at Clemson beat Lamar Jackson at Louisville. But I don't know that he's going to do it this time around. I mean, you really have to be impressed by what the Ravens are doing, beating the Patriots. Giving the Bengals no hope. I was listening to that game on my ride up. I went down to visit my mom in North Carolina. On my ride up, we're in Maryland. I'm listening to Ravens Bengals, and it was just a blowout every single play.
It was like the Miami game in the first week. There was no chance for the Bengals. None.
But that's what really good teams do. They put their foot on your neck. They're at home. They've got a good running game. They've got 3 deep in the tight ends, and Lamar Jackson is making great decisions. Heart.
Yeah, he's still an MVP candidate right now.
Heart is Deshaun. Head is Lamar. I'm picking the Ravens.
Yeah, I think the Texans will keep it close, but I think that the Ravens' offense is just more explosive, consistently explosive, and I think they're similar quarterbacks. I just think Lamar's just taken it to the next level as opposed to Deshaun Watson. I really believe the Ravens are your AFC championships going to the Super Bowl based on the body of work thus far. There's no one else I think that's playing like them. Week after week after week, and I like them a lot. I'm taking them a lot here.
But would you be surprised at all if Jackson went down with an injury at any moment?
None of those guys that are running around like that are an exception.
Built to last long.
Yeah.
Broncos, Vikings, and let me rant here for just a second.
How did you not pick them?
How did I not pick what? Last week? Because I'm a negative Vikings fan.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you why. Because Kirk Cousins doesn't close out games. We should have beaten the Chiefs. All we needed was 1 first down with 2:30 to go, and we did -7 yards, 3 and out. We should have closed out the Cowboys, and what did Cousins do? 3 and out. 3 and out Kirk when you need him. No, I'm serious. Like,
beat me up.
if you look at you see late in the game, you see Aaron Rodgers, you see Russell Wilson especially. You see obviously Drew Brees, you see Tom Brady, and you go, he's gonna freaking do it.
Yeah.
He's gonna either get us into field goal range if that's what we need. He's gonna get us in the end zone if that's what we need, or he's going to get us 2 crucial first downs and run out the damn clock and never give them another chance. You do not get that sense with Kirk Cousins. No. And even in a win, he gave them a shot at the end zone.
Yep.
The Broncos have not played well against the NFC North. They've lost to the Bears. They've lost to the Packers. And I think the Vikings can continue to do this. And put Philip Lindsay down on my list of guys that I really like. Kind of a walk-on guy from the area. Stu keeps a list for me.
On my hand.
But I do think the Vikings defense can contain them. Right now, we're actually better against the rush than we are against the pass, and the Broncos are going to want to try and pound the ball against us. Kind of works to our strength. I'm taking the Vikes.
Yeah, I think the Vikings are clearly the better team here. Even minus Thielen, and I don't know what his status is. He came in for a couple plays 2 weeks ago when he was out again.
Yeah.
So he must be more injured than...
Hamstrings are tricky. I didn't actually check the injury update today. I'm assuming he's out.
Dalvin Cook, what a freaking game, though. The guy is playing brilliant football, finding the holes. His acceleration when he catches a ball on a swing pass is unlike anyone I'm seeing right now. I like the Vikings a lot here.
Yeah, I had no doubt he was going to be a great player coming out of FSU. My only doubt was he was supposed to have character issues, but so far he's been a model citizen. And the injuries the first 2 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
But we have exactly what we were supposed to do to be a great team. We
only had Bridgewater.
We have Cook running well. We built up our offensive line with picks and with moves. The defense has been solid the whole way. I mean, we're a little banged up in the secondary right now. So we're at peak Viking level right now, but I don't think we're an elite team.
No, you're not.
No. I mean, I think we're close. I think we're a playoff team, but I think we're a second-tier playoff team.
Yep, I agree.
Jets, Washington, this is a horrible game. But Jamal Adams went out and basically won a game against the Giants by himself.
What a steal.
Including just taking the ball from Danny Fumbles, and because it ain't Danny Dimes anymore. Just taking it. Like, he took his lunch money when he took that ball. He took the ball, took his lunch money, took his pride, took his heart, and ran them all into the end zone. Washington is a white-hot mess. I don't think the players want to be there at this point.
They've been a white-hot mess forever.
So I am taking the Jets to win this one and have a 2-game winning streak.
Yeah, Haskin gets his first start here. Crowder came alive on Sunday for the Jets, so the Darno-Crowder connection might seem to be heating up here. The Jets are playing better, and they should win this game, even though I'm secretly rooting for Washington.
Saints, Bucks. You want to start with this one?
Yeah, the Bucks passing game is top 5 right now, and I think Bridgewater should be starting for New Orleans. Drew Brees has not been impressive the last 2 games. They didn't need him to come back early. He was rattled to death the other day. I would have at least pulled him at halftime because he was getting absolutely nothing done here. I think it's just a better rhythm with Bridgewater up to that point. But I don't think the Saints lose here. They have the number 5 ranked defense. I don't know how ecstatic I am over that ranking because
rankings can be a little.
Yeah, I mean yards and scores and things like that. It's subjective, but certainly the Bucks find ways to lose. Although they didn't lose to Arizona and they shouldn't have lost to Arizona, but it was damn close. I think it's a 5-point game here. I think the Saints win on the road.
The Bucks are very, very hard to handicap. Winston throws for over 300 yards. He's done it 6 times so far this year, which is tied for first in the NFL. But they don't punch the ball in the red zone. They don't have a consistent pass rush. They don't have a consistent running game. And Winston makes big mistakes in bad moments.
Yeah.
But they do keep every game close. They're an explosive offense. They've got huge wide receivers. So I don't understand why they're not good in the red zone. And if you said to me, if you could pluck one guy off a team and turn him, and by moving him to another team, you might make him a star, O.J. Howard would be up there in my. Mm-hmm. I know from watching that guy against Clemson, I know how talented that guy is, and he is not living up to my expectations, and probably not the Buccaneers. I think you're nuts. I don't think there's any way in hell that you would bench Brees, especially mid-game. There's no way.
I think they were on a better rhythm with Bridgewater.
I think Bridgewater played great. I think Bridgewater might be as good as Brees right now in that offense, but I don't think you do that to Brees. I think that little Drew Brees has earned the right to play out this season whatever comes.
Agreed, but they didn't have to bring him back 2 weeks ago. They could have waited a week or 2.
I agree with you on that.
And kept Bridgewater in, let Brees be totally healthy, because you're winning with him. Now you lost without him.
I agree with you. There have been a couple when the Jets wanted to rush back Sam Darnold. You're like, what are you doing?
Right.
Like right now with the Giants, Saquon Barkley is hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, he's not the running back he was last year. I know that you're Superman, but a high ankle sprain is a high ankle sprain. It takes time, and now he's admitting, oh yeah, my shoulder hurts. You didn't have to tell us you were hurt. You got 1 yard in a game. You're like, take a rest. Your team is not a playoff team. I know you don't want to let the guys down. I respect the hell out of I'm going to be on the field no matter what, but it's going to hurt your career long term.
Yep.
It's going to hurt your team long term. And somebody needs to sit the gentleman down and say, Saquon, we love you. We want you healthy, and this ain't our year.
Well, that's on the coach. The coach needs to say, you know what? We're not going anywhere. You can play in December, but let's rest you in November, and you get fully healthy because you're not healthy.
Yeah, well, right now, I don't want to go on a Giants rant because we're talking Saints Bucks.
Oh, right.
But my point is,
I forgot about that.
The Saints offensive line got overwhelmed. It was a rivalry game against the Falcons. There's a reason why the Dolphins are the only undefeated team, and I'm sure they popped the champagne cork. Who's ever left from that team?
Well, if Bacardi is champagne, then yes.
Okay. I'm just saying, it happens every year. Every year, if you're playing 16 games, you have a stinker. Yeah. The Saints had their stinker. Their offensive line is too good to have that happen to them again. I think the Saints play better. I think the Saints win.
I think they win too.
Cards, 49ers.
Or Arizona.
Yeah, because...
Well, let's play the Niners after they get beaten.
When they're pissed. But I'll tell you what, I watched that whole Niners Seahawks game. The Niners were the better team. And people are going to tell you they lost because Chase McLaughlin missed a kick. No, they lost because of injuries.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
They lost 3 guys during the game, right?
well, you lost your kicker. You lost Breida. You already had Kittle's hurt, and you lost Sanders. And they kept showing it. Garoppolo's numbers went way the hell down after Sanders went out. What's his name? Dwelly is their backup tight end. No offense to him, but do you think Kittle might make a crucial play in a game like that in the fourth quarter or in overtime? Hell, he was up like leaning against the glass. I thought he was going to fall out. He was so into it. And McGlinchey got clowned by Clowney. I mean, Clowney ate McGlinchey's lunch.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if McGlinchey's hurt or not. You never, because he's a good player. He's a very good lineman. You never want to say, like, oh, he's just not that good because of one game. But he was abused in that game.
Mm-hmm.
Jadeveon Clowney showed why, people love his explosiveness. But overall, I honestly think the 49ers played the better game, should have won, and I think they're going to take it out on Kyler Murray and the poor Cardinals, like you're saying.
Yeah.
They are their defense was amazing, and there were a lot of drops. 84.
I really didn't know who the guys were, and I was doing this.
Yeah, me too.
Start the game at 7:30, for the love of God.
I'm with you on that, man. I fall asleep
Oh,
during.
my God.
I wake up and watch them at like 6 in the morning. I watch the fourth quarter at like 6 in the morning. But 84, Warner, help me out. Any 49ers fan.
We're not live, so you can't help us.
Two
right
balls hit him right in the hands. One goes for an interception. One almost goes for an interception. And Pettis, I mean, like, it wasn't Garoppolo's fault. Garoppolo's numbers should have been better. It certainly wasn't the defense's fault. I think the 49ers are right now the best team in the NFC, even after that loss. And I think Seattle is scared crapless to play them again, especially if the 49ers get healthy.
Yes.
So I'm taking the 49ers easy.
You've hit all my points. I'm with the Niners on that. Moving along to the Bengals and the Raiders.
Go ahead.
Raiders continue to rise while Cincinnati got smoked by the Ravens. Raiders get a few extra days off. They come in rested, and I think they win this handily. Two of the worst defenses in football right now, though. But the Bengals have no offense either. So, the Thursday night game last week, the Raiders looked really good. They look like they're cohesive. Way too many freaking penalties still. How is it over a 40-year period of watching this team?
The Raiders are
How does that happen? Do they just not care?
It's the uniform color.
I guess. I'm taking the Raiders, and I'm taking them by a lot. I think they smoke them.
Yeah, and multiple coaches too. It's not like you had Buddy Ryan out there going kick him in the nuts.
Yeah.
Bengals Raiders. Yeah, I'm with you. I think the Raiders are actually surprisingly good on the offensive side. I think Carr has played better than I expected him to.
And Waller has turned into a bit of a star.
And they've got a running back now.
Yeah.
So I think they're on the rise offensively. I think they need help on the defensive side. But against what do we got? Finley, Joe Mixon. Like where's the scary part of the Bengals? The Bengals are tanking more effectively than the Dolphins.
Right. I know everyone's mocking us out in September, and we got 2 more wins.
Yeah. So Tua, I hope you like Cincinnati and their the 4-way chili, their 5-way chili.
It's a no-way chili.
Pats at Eagles. I'm going to start out on this one.
All right.
The Eagles are at home. They're coming off the bye. They're on a 2-game winning streak. They have 2 good tight ends, and tight ends tend to give the Patriots problems. You can see how the Eagles could win this game, but they're just not gonna. The Patriots are. I've watched the Eagles games against the Bears, the Cowboys, and Vikings in their entirety. In all 3 of those games, even in their win, they did not look impressive at all. There's no cohesion. The Deshaun Jackson being out has hurt them immensely. But even if he's back this week, and I don't know if he's going to be back this week, even at full strength, I don't think they stand a chance. And I think the Patriots are going to be at full strength. They have a backup tight end injured or something like that, but they're really coming off the bye, healthy.
And 2 weeks to plan for this game. That's all. Like Belichick needs 2 weeks.
Good point. So I'm Pats. It sounds like you're Pats too.
Yeah, I don't think the Patriots offense is very explosive this year. I mean, they're not scoring like they used to, but they're also not giving up a lot of points. Other than
Not
the
give up
Ravens
any
game,
points.
the Patriots are going to find a way to shut them down, and it is the Patriots' way.
Bears at Rams.
Bears.
You like the Bears?
No, I'm just yelling.
Oh, okay. Both teams have been disappointing. Both teams have young quarterbacks that are going through growing pains. Trubisky more so than Goff. Goff has had a little more success so far a lot more success so far in his career if you go on last year. Um, it's a question right now. The Rams' offensive line, I mean, T.J. Watt ate them alive. Can Khalil Mack and those Bears linebackers actually get some pressure on?
I'm
Because
not sure.
I know they're going into the season. There was no question in my mind that Bears defense was going to be one of the best in the NFL.
Yep.
Now there's a question in my mind.
That was my fantasy pick. I picked them early because in both leagues that I'm in, and they sucked.
But if I look at these two teams and I say, where does one team have an advantage over the other? I think the Rams have a better offensive line. I think the Rams have slightly better wide receivers. I'm taking the Rams.
Yeah, I mean, Cooper Kupp was shut out.
Yeah, that was surprising.
That was amazing. They were just all over that guy, and I think that changes this week. Again, I think the Bears are a decent defense. They're not what I thought they were going to be. But Trubisky has to play 100% effective. He can't make one mistake. Otherwise, they're going to lose this game. They're on the road. Not that a lot of people go to LA games. The place is on fire or something anyway. But these these are not the Rams of last year. McVay has to fix something. I don't know what's wrong with them, but he's got to fix it. I'm taking the Rams.
It's actually been a very good NFL season, but I'd be very curious, Dolphin or somebody else, what are the ratings like this year? Are they up? Are they down? Like, where do they stand?
I've seen every game.
Because when you look at the stadium, especially in LA, like you just mentioned, there's a lot of empty seats, which I don't remember seeing in the past. And there's a lot of fan bases that just aren't there, like the Chargers. So we're going to look at the Chiefs Chargers, and I honestly feel like the Chargers no longer have a home field advantage.
Well, I think what happens now, I think people are selling their ticket when your team has no chance of making the playoffs, and there's a lot of them right now that really are dead in the water. I mean, there's mathematical chances, but dead in the water. The fans are selling their team's tickets to the other team's fans because they can watch it at home and make some money on a game that they really don't want to watch.
You can watch it at home, comfortable. You can StubHub the hell out of your tickets. There's a secondary market like there's never been before.
Mm-hmm.
People have all sorts of other options in their lives.
Especially in the South. I mean, if it's 75 degrees and sunny, you're at the beach or you're watching your 2-10 team play.
Yeah, especially in LA. I mean, you tend to have some options in Miami too. Not exactly without its options.
South Beach or a 2-7 team.
I'd like to know. I know there was some trepidation last year. The ratings had fallen off, and there was, the controversy with the kneeling had hurt things.
It's been very quiet on that this year too.
Yeah, it has been. That's a good point. It's been a very, I can't think of a huge controversy in the NFL this year. Like everybody
bad refereeing, but
and even last night they were complimenting the refereeing. There was some good spots, and there was it's been a good, not great season. It's been a very quiet season. You haven't had to deal with somebody beating their wife or kicking their sheep or whatever.
There's no elevator footage coming out this year.
Yeah, thank God. So I'd like to see that. But it does seem when I'm watching the games, there seems to be a little less, thrill.
Yeah.
A little less excitement.
I said this to my wife the other day. Every week there seems to be 3 or 4 thrillers. Games that, in New York, we literally at 1 o'clock had the Giants-Jets game. That was your choice if you didn't have the Red Zone or DirecTV. Meanwhile, there's games going down to the wire all over the, 3 or 4 games a week. And if you're a fan of football, I don't care what team's playing. If it's a close game, I want to watch it. And the problem, I think, also is corporate America owns these these stadiums, they don't need to sell all the tickets to the fans because they made their money with the boxes. But yeah, overall, it's been a season with some really great games.
I literally said this to my wife the other day. Leave me alone, honey. I'll do it. I'll do it. I promise. Just let me finish watching this.
Oh, I didn't know where you're going.
Chiefs, Chargers. Mahomes throws for 446 yards, 3 TDs, and they lose to the freaking Titans.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Tannehill.
that just shows you how bad their defense is. It really does. And other than the Vikings, who should have closed the door on the Chiefs and won, the Chiefs are on a downhill slide. Now, Mahomes dislocates his knee. That explains it. But it doesn't explain it when the Titans are able to do that to them.
And Derrick Henry, I mean, he had holes that were wider than the Grand Canyon on some plays, man. And it was pathetic.
And I didn't think the Chiefs' defense was going to be that bad. So I'm the Chargers, right? I've got Melvin Gordon. I've got Austin Eckler. I've got Hunter Henry. I can control the game with running and hitting my reliable, healthy this year tight end. I honestly gotta think that they can win this game. I think the Chargers can commit to the run, stick to the run, even if it's not working early. Try and keep Mahomes, Hill, who's been amazing, and Kelsey off the field. I think the Chargers defense is stout enough against the run. I honestly, call me crazy, I'm going Chargers this week.
You're crazy.
I am probably
they're
crazy.
Still the better team. The Chiefs can light up a team when they want to. I think Mahomes should have sat out one more week.
That's another example of guys that have come back too soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think they felt the pressure of they got to get winning now because the other teams are all winning. The Ravens are winning. The Patriots are well ahead of them. They got to keep pace with teams, and the only way they're going to really do that is with Mahomes. I think this extra, another week in between lets his knee get a little healthier. The Chargers D statistically is much better than they are when you watch them. I don't watch a lot of Chargers games, maybe 2 this season that I've seen a significant playing time.
Yeah.
But they just don't seem to be able to close a game. This is a must-win for the Kansas City Chiefs. They have to win this game. So I am all over the Chiefs this week.
If Rivers avoids bad interceptions, I'm taking the Chargers.
All right.
That's
our
electric
week.
football. Love you guys.
See ya.